Hello everyone. Oh, excuse me. Hello everyone. How are we all doing today? I think we're just about ready to just about ready to start. Let's send this to hello everyone. How are we all doing today? Round 6 with a bit of a break last week. We'll say it was planned. It was very nice, I enjoyed it. Everyone else did, but it is what it is. But we're back racing in round 6 of GTEL Division 2 Championship, Spa-Francochamps. One of the most famous circuits in history, not only in the world, but in GTEL. Producing the closest, last time we was here in the dry, produced, every race here is brilliant. We had the guy, the only guy to ever be faster than Ruben, or the first guy to ever be faster than Ruben, but not beat him. We had Hayden with one of the closest finishes in Div 1 Season 1. Here, well, I think it was only about a 10th on track before Hayden's penalty, 1 second penalty. He did lose on track anyway, but there was Casey's first podium in Div 1, long time coming. It's all looking promising. It's always a brilliant race at Spa, especially in GT3 cars. Don't get much better than this, and it's qualifying time then. 11 cars on track, and the championship leader is not here. Ariel leads the championship, but is currently vacant this week. As we watch everyone hopefully leave the pit lane okay. Filling his McLaren seems to be the person at the back. There's only B&R liveries we can see as well. They're coming off the back of the last race weekend we had at Sardinia was brilliant. 2 brand new race winners, brand new livery for the Helix as well. Hardcore's Lidl livery, that's nice. And everyone piles out the pit lane nicely. Seb Millsy returning, and the little known Lewis AJL here as well. So a few returning faces. PX4 last week had some issues. No Brian either. Casey will be back next week. Brian's broke his TV. He will be out for the rest of the season. And Millsy and his good old sparring partner already going toe to toe with it. Fridge is back though, and Hardcore, he's right at the back. I think Sick and Zen are the lead out cars here for this 10-minute qualifying session. Spa is such a long lap, it's about 2 minutes 20. Qualifying has to be perfect. That is a brilliant livery I've just noticed there by the Helixes. The pink for breast cancer awareness. Good on them lads there, as they come through poo on then on this opening out lap. So long you can't make mistakes, you really, every lap counts, and won't be seeing, it's rare, I highly doubt we're going to see people double stinting tyres because of how long the lap is. It's kind of pointless in all honesty, but you never know. People will maybe see people trying to stick it out to get more laps in. May not always work though. We'll find out. As they come up towards Blanchemont, this track is so historic. Every corner just has history behind it. Turn 1, La Source. You've got Eau Rouge, Radion Complex down the Camel Straight up towards Les Combes, then Ravage, No Name, Pouon, Stav The Fania chicane to Stavlos, which is the Belgium knockoff of the Lesmos. Then up towards Blanchemont and through here at the bus stop. As Sick is the first car to start then his lap. Man, will be the first to finish it though. Spa is such a tricky track. He's leading his teammate Joe, who's been the quicker of the two of them this season, up towards turn 1. JD already pitting off the medium, so evident to see what he's trying to go for there. It's going to impact him as he's going to get less laps in, so there's less room for him to make a mistake. There's Phil also going for it, but if it pays off in the race, it pays off in the race. JD won last time out in a brilliant finale at Sardinia, with both of them having to manage fuel so much on the last lap, himself and Ariel. Sardinia produced 2 brand new race winners. Can Spa produce another one? Well, no, Spa is brilliant in terms of history in GTEL for producing good results. And through Lacom, the 3-part chicane, the opening chicane, then that final bit, don't want to hit the curb there. It's a bit of a hopscotch, and then already you see the momentum Joe's gained just from that little mistake from Sick. And now Joe's going to be stuck right behind Sick here, as he probably would have wanted the quicker driver ahead, but sometimes it's a compromise you have to take. Tim's back and forth. He's got a good bit of space between himself and Zen. He's also in a good bit of space as he comes up towards Puon. Joe finally gets ahead of Sick then. That's going to cost both of them time, and it's not really going to be much of a representative lap time for either of them. It's pretty much a waste of time. As far as them straight into the garage, don't even bother finishing this lap. That's just an extra lap you've got to deal with. Lewis, there's a penalty for him going wide at Puon. Big mistake from him, as Tim, he's on the medium, so he's going out for this lap. I don't quite know what Tim's going for. PX4 signed with B&R. That's a beautiful livery on the Nissan there. For the American, got a brand new PlayStation, as his other one decided to die. Mills with a penalty as well. That will doesn't really have to be served. It won't count for much in qualifying anyway. Phil on an outlap and JD and Fridge as well. These are all the ones that will be starting on the mediums. Everyone else is looking to start on the softs, it seems. Joe coming through the bus stop chicane then. Let's see what lap times he can say. He should go to the top, but then Zen probably will gain back. Zen's going to get the toe all the way from Sick for back. A 2.19, that's not really representative. And then a 2.18.3, Zen straight to top by nearly a whole second. Tim also on the mediums, nothing much for him, but what can Lewis set on his first flying lap? And pit lane for him, maybe get off those tyres after a mistake. Mediums for PX4 as well. So really everyone else, we're already halfway through the session. It's going to be fine lines, as I think we're going to have a couple more going on to the softs, looking to start on the harder compound of the tyres. Millsy goes third with by 3 milliseconds as well, with a 2.19.3. 3 milliseconds off his British counterpart Joe. Can Joe spring a surprise and get his first race when he's now got some clean air ahead of him? And I believe Zen's got a bit of traffic with Sick though. Zen's probably not going to be as polite as necessarily Joe would be, as teammate is going to have a bit more respect for each other. They're not going to be as stupid and try and run both their laps. But it seems JD, Tim, Hardcore, Fridge, PX4, Phil, JD, and Hardcore. No, Tim, sorry. I think they may all be starting on the softer compound of tyre, on the harder compound, fighting through the Fania chicane. This is not what you want to be doing. This is hampering Sick as well. Is like millimeters matter in this. You're not going to get much time. I mean, they should make it back. It's a long pit lane here as well, so if they pit now onto fresh tyres, they may just get one lap out. But everyone else further back, you're not going to get many laps, but it then means it's also a different thing with no setups on this track. Previously, when we've had setups on around this track, when you've had that sort of flexibility, it's normally very different how it will turn out. Because do you set up Sector 1 and 3, which is top speed, heavy, or Sector 2, which is where you're going to gain the most time, and put it on a downforce cell, up towards the line then for the second round of laps? Joe doesn't actually improve, and he won't have a time to pit then, so with Joe's tyres already having an impact. Joe was stuck in traffic last time out, He having to pass his teammate who was much slower than him and not taking tyres. Hello Vassal, hello Maisto, hello Ariel. Bit bumpy there between the current front row of the grid. Millsy's up next towards the line, but if that's a sign of Joe's tyres already wearing off, that's not a good sign. Millsy will go second, taking half second off his personal best. An 18.3 closes the gap between himself and Zen. JD goes straight to the top though with a 17.6. He's not the first person to dip into the 17s, but he is going straight to the top of the pecking order. Tim, he will start his final flying lap. So will Phil. Phil goes 6th, PX4. He goes 9th, I believe. No, who just said? No, Fridge goes 5th, sorry, with a 19.7. But as I was saying, Joe, if Joe's tyres are already off, and there's a big show there, down at No Name. I have no idea what that is, Vassal. And again, a mistake at Pill on Joe, definitely struggling then for tyre wear and grip. So, his first lap was really the one that counts, and he got stuck in traffic, and when I said he probably should have pitted, well, probably should have, and now it's looking like it's going to be not the best qualifying performance for him. Zen into the pit lane, he's most likely going on to the medium compound of tyre to start the race on, which is ideal. JD, his starts haven't been the best, but having someone behind him on the mediums as well, that will be helpful. Oh, what's that by Zen? What has Zen done? Oh, Zen. Oh, Zen. We'll sort it, don't worry. But anyway, final bit of qualifying. Zen, if you can hear it, we'll sort it. JD currently going purple, though. Joe won't be improving by any means. I don't think Sick will either. Millsy, though. He's coming up towards the bus stop, then he's going to be the first of the people to set or to complete the lap on his final run through the bus stop. It's not the best of exits, could have got the power on a bit earlier, but it's looking decent for him, but he won't improve. He will actually get another lap in. Will set Millsy up towards the line. JD will not improve by the skin of his teeth. Everyone else still getting laps in, Van. There's Tim going 5th with a 19.3. Chaos around the final turn, as I can't actually see who's where. Phil will improve, he's 8th. Fridge will improve into 6th. Sorry, PX4 improves Lewis. He's 11th. And who are the last people on their laps? I believe Millsy and then Joe. Yeah, Joe, Millsy and 6-0. We'll get a split time then for Joe. With the tyre wear situation, the car's getting lighter, but my money then is on JD. He's got his 2nd pole in a row for the German. This is good ways to go and gain points in the championship, especially with Ariel not being here. A full 18 points for him. He will be loving it. Joe showing no signs of improving. Millsy! Oh! He was going purple, but there's a big mistake, and that's his qualifying over. He will likely finish 3rd as he makes a mistake up towards Stavlo, number 1. And Joe, he will still start 4th then unless Sick, yeah. JD's on pole then in a bit of an anticlimactic qualifying. JD on pole followed by Zen, then Millsy, who was looking good to be fair on that final lap. That one mistake Costs him, but it is JD on pole then for the second race in a row. Can he make it back-to-back race wins? Let's find out in a minute. We will have to set the grid here, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So then confirmation of the qualifying then. JD on pole, followed by Zen, then Millsy on his return. Joe locks out on all British Row 2. Who's your money on for the race win then? It will be 11 cars starting, contrary to what it says there. Phil for the win is the call. As everyone should be going back to lobby. Hopefully. If anyone will listen. $10,000 Monopoly dollar. As Fridge and PX4 lead. They're gonna just let this one go, aren't they? So then we will just have to set the qualifying grid due to Zen's little accident. There's PX4 getting the bug which kicks you out, and there's PX4 joining back. So then a quick rundown for grid order then. JD on pole for the second race in a row, followed by Zen who joins him on the front row of the grid. It's got to be Zen's best qualifying performance in a while, surely. He's been a bit like Dom. Qualifying's not been the best, but he's starting to find a bit more form. Seb Millsy on return will start third with Joe, fourth, making an all-British row 2. Tim and Fridge's best qualifying in a while. 5th and 6th with Sick in 7th, Phil 8th, good chance points for him. 9th, PX4, 10th, Hardcore, and locking out the final spot on the grid, Lewis AGL. Fried chicken that Phil will win. If everyone can ready up so I can start. Actually, I'll just. See, our brains are a bit slow because we're still getting used to being back. Slap you at the front. It's got to be Phil's best qualifying in a while as well, hasn't it? Seb Millsy for P1. Don't count Seb out. Yeah, Seb, you can do good stuff. A lot of people can win this, to be fair. And this has actually helped a lot of people, because a lot of people now, they can just choose whatever tie they want to start on. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see a few people slapping on the mediums. A few more. But anyway, here's your grid then for the race. It's JD on pole, Zen, Millsy, Joe, Tim, Fridge, Sick, Phil, PX4, Hardcore, and Lewis. There's your 11 drivers. We'll try and see what tyres everyone's actually on. Seems we're just about ready. Hopefully we should get away nice and calm. Round 6 of the GTEL Division 2 Championship. We're at the second half of the season then. We're at Spa. It's promising to be a good race. JD on pole for the second race in a row, followed by Zen, his championship rival, in second. No aerial, so it's going to be a good for those two to claw points back. 7 on turn starts third with Joe on fourth. Tim and Fridge, best qualifying in a while for them, 5th and 6th. 6th, 7th and 5th is best qualifying of the season in 8th. Lights are on, we're ready to go racing here. It's lights out and away we go, but it's a solid, it's not the best of starts there for JD. It's a really good start there though by Zen and Millsy as we go up towards La Source for the first time. 6 also got to a brilliant start, he's into 4th. Joe 5th, Tim's dropped down 6th. Phil's dropped down to 11th, potentially a false start at the back of the grid there for the Brit. JD's up in JD dropped down to 3rd. His starts haven't always been the best, but it's better than being 5th, which he was at the end of lap 1 at Sardinia. Up towards Arush's first time, nearly side by side for all of them. Zenvo on the mediums with Seb, Millsy, every top 3 all then on mediums. But it was a brilliant start there by Millsy as we go towards the Lake for the first time, and Millsy then takes the race lead in his Aston Martin. Zen is going to try and fight back into the braking zone. No, he isn't. He's going to be a bit smart belts out of it. Millsy does leave him in space there though, but it's side by side battle, a bit of contact. Millsy loses his rear a bit there, and Zen's going to be back into the lead. It's going to allow JD to close right back up to him as they go towards the second sector. Sick trying to find his way through, and Lewis, who's got into 5th all the way from 11th for the back. Last first challenge for him. Hardcore's down in 2 laps. Tim's up in 4th. He's on the mediums as well, so his favoured strategy, top 4 on mediums. What's Millsy? Top 5 all on mediums. Then it goes to Lewis, who goes to Joe, who's on the softs. But Zen leads to go up towards Put on for the first time, followed by Millsy, JD, Tim. Then there's Lewis, who's already got a penalty, which will have to be served at the exit of the bus stop. Joe, softs for Sig. It's mediums then for PX, for Phil, Fridge and Hardcore. So it's only Joe and 6, only the 2 H drivers that are on the soft compact tyre. Everyone taking the opportunity to start on the mediums. And there's Joe having a bit of a mistake there, going through Stavlo 1. Millsy, a bit of a gap being bridged to Zen already. JD looking at his fuel already though. So much more saved than the 2 ahead of him now. JD as well, tucked into slipstream, sector 1 and 3, so good for fuel saving. Tim's fallen down to 5th as Lewis has got past him, but Lewis should serve his penalty at the exit of Spa-Francochamps. Let's see if he does. There we go, good man Lewis, and there will be Tim getting right back into 5th. At the end of lap 1 though, Zen leads from Millsy, JD, Tim and Lewis as the medium runners are already pulling ahead from the soft runners behind. There's Phil on the mediums, and here's where, by the looks of it already, JD is trying to go for a 1-stop, which is really good around here compared to Zen and Millsy's more aggressive push, potentially going for a 2-stop. This is good because the pit lane, you lose up to about a minute in the pits. I know it's not definite that Jay's going to go for 1-stop. We know he likes to do funky strategies. We know he likes to do some weird stuff. But at the end of the day, it could be a defining factor in this race is the pit strategy. Tim and Lewis in the battle for 4th as we run up towards Ravage for the 2nd time this race. Lewis has to take a bit of a wide line. Tim covers that inside line, and Seb closing in a bit, running very wide there, and the exit of No Name on what's now X turn, sorry. Through Puon, dirty air around this turn, so deadly, it's so tricky, and you can see the time gain that Zen has just through there. Down at Puon though, no problem for Lewis as he slips down the inside of Tim for 4th as their battle rages on. Sick has also got past Joe, and the battle for 8th and final point. PX4 losing the rear a bit then through the Fania chicane as his battle or 8th with Phil, and then there's Fridge and Hardcore just behind as well. Phil brewing exit there out of Stavlo. And maybe a mistake from Millsy there. JD closing right up to the back of him. Look at the fuel difference already between these two. The Corvette gas guzzles a lot of fuel, and so does the Aston Martin. There's a lot of power in those cars. Lewis AGL's got another penalty. He's going to have to be wary of them. Oh, big mistake there by Zen all over the curb. And let's see, how much is that going to impact him? Not much, in all honesty, because Millsy had a very similar sort of move, and Zen is still quicker, but JD right close to the back of him. And see, does JD have intentions to really go for him? Is he just going to bump draft a bit and try and keep in touch with Zen? Because a squabble with Millsy, especially with JD fuel saving, is not really what he wants to be doing. But he doesn't want Millsy to lose too much ground. So let's see up towards Lake Com. Millsy is in the slipstream here, so look at the time gained, especially there. And JD also gaining as well, so this is kind of helpful. JD pulling out of the slipstream. Is he thinking about a move? No, just trying to get the downforce wash all over the car, and Millsy, he's going to have to take to the exit curves there, and he may have to give that position up to JD, and he does. Rejoins the track safely. Props to Millsy. Just let's see what happened there. Did he just outbrake himself? No, the replays won't work for third race in a row. Just outbrakes himself going in towards Lake Com. And JD, well, he really would have liked Millsy to be in slipstream there. If he wants to try and close down Zen and keep the pressure on, he's going to have to put his foot down a tiny bit just to get in there. That's not really what he wants to be doing. Joe and Sick. Joe's got past Sick, and now they've latched onto the back in this battle for fourth as they all go through Puon. Further back, big squabble there. You can see Sick's got a good run onto Joe, but not enough straight to close in. Phil pulling ahead from the two further back, PX4 and Fridge that are starting to squabble away, and Zen maybe a bit more cautious, maybe JD's pushing a bit more through the middle sector. JD, because he's burning a bit of fuel, Zen will be saving a bit, because you do know the power of the gains when it comes to fuel saving. And Zen's on track around about for a potential, well, not for a one-stop yet, but he will have that fuel gain. But JD in the slipstream range. Oh, there's a big mistake there by Millsy. Just completely gets Blanchimont wrong. And can he get the car slowed down? No, he can't. Oh, there's a big lag there for Millsy. Yeah, big lag there for Millsy. There's him DNFing out the podium spots. And now this massive squabble further back. And Tim and Sick down at the bus stop getting squirrely. Look where he started 11th, now up to 3rd. And that little battle then has turned into the battle for 3rd. JD maybe put up. JD, let's see. He is the fastest lap of the race. Last lap wasn't his personal best lap, but he was quicker than Zen, so he's showing pace. Maybe Zen's starting to fuel save a bit more. I don't know, because Zen is being a bit slower. JD's gaining, but down the straight. Zen's still pulling ahead. But JD started to burn a bit more fuel in the past lap than he did at the start of the race. Maybe a bit more conservative at the start of the race because of all the squabbling. But the British battle then for 3rd, Lewis and Joe. Joe, Joe probably got away quite lucky in qualifying at the end of it. Up towards Ravage, there's Tim and Sick, and now we don't sort of have the luxury with Tim. Where Tim being one of the people that starts on the mediums, he's normally a bit further back, and you know Tim will always climb through, whilst everyone who started on the softs on the mediums, but most people are on the mediums now, so we don't necessarily get that luxury with Tim of seeing him climb through the order in the middle stint especially. But JD, Zen may be struggling a bit in the Corvette, less downforce through the straights or through the middle sector, losing a lot of time, still going purple, but a long way down. Maybe come the straight, he's still pulling ahead of JD, but JD in the slipstream not really getting the most effect from it. Zen a big lift there through Blanchimont, JD taking a lot more risks through there. And Zen, you can see the fuel difference just this lap alone. Zen has gone and put his foot down a bit. Zen saw JD was closing and he has gone full power this lap, and a big mistake. There's how much power he's putting through the rears of that Corvette. Fastest lap for him, but JD will then take it back by only a handful of hundredths there. So JD again quicker last lap than Zen. And where it really matters, JD is making the big gains through the straights. And Zen, you can see, JD is doing this whilst fuel saving. Yes, he does have the benefit of the slight slipstream. But through Blanchimont, JD able to just take much more through Blanchimont, a lot more power, a lot more momentum. That really is the big gain there. And come the last stage of the race where JD's probably got the car up to full power, and the fuel that lap shows Zen was definitely mode 1 all the way through, of how much fuel he burned in comparison to the past 2 laps. And JD is almost definitely not running in mode 1, so he's not going full power, and that sort of thing up through Blanchimont, last lap into the bus stop, which is a prime overtaking opportunity. Well, it could be definitive in this race, especially when it's the final turn, or final 2 turns. Come the end of the race, that could be brilliant. The power difference also evident through the exit of the bus stop. That Corvette's so much more squirrely, but he's able to just pull ahead because he's getting more power through because of the higher fuel mode. But JD is driving conservatively but quick, and this is good. Look how much fuel he's saving. He's taken a bit more fuel this lap, but now he's got himself firmly in the back of Zen, where he will be in slipstream. His slipstream will be full effect, and he will probably get a bit closer and just be able to take a bit of a lift off. And this is where, in this sort of area, you can definitely now, if you're clean, despite the dirty air, you'll 100% just be stuck behind the car ahead all the way through. But JD, he's putting the fuel down there, going for the move, and on towards the bus stop. JD's going to go for the lead here. Bit of contact as they go through the bus stop. Inside line for JD on the second part, and Zen, he's going to have the outside line, maybe going to get the better power, and I think Zen does, and JD will just cede the position quite quickly there and just tuck back into the inside, or tuck behind Zen. That was kind of a questionable move. Was there any need for that? If JD is going for a 1-stop, Zen's definitely past the chance at a 1-stop. I don't necessarily think JD will go for a 1-stop. I don't know, JD maybe keeps changing his mind what idea he's going to go for, but this squabbling further back has definitely 9 seconds, approaching 10 seconds, the gap between them, and it's starting to filter out a lot further back. Phil into 7th. As PX4's right behind us are going to go up towards Eau Rouge, side by side maybe. I don't think these guys are done one off. They're not gonna, but back to the lead of the race and through Les Combes. It's interesting to see what JD's game plan is here. He's not wanting to just stick behind Zen. Maybe there's a bit of mind games. Maybe he's going to peek these moves and maybe make Zen question what sort of strategy JD's really going on, to try and see what Zen will do and see how Zen will respond. Fuel right now, it gets closer and spreads apart each lap. Especially we'll get a good indicator coming up towards the bus stop chicane. So on the exit of Stavlo, on the exit of Stavlo 2, we'll see Zen again. The car really twitch at the rear there, really loose and not really comfortable, really understeery there through Stavlo 2. And look at the run JD's got, so much more comfortable, but having to take a tighter line, not able to get the power on as much. Is he going to go for the move? Zen's covering the inside line through the entry to Blanchimont. JD not going to go for the move. Definitely backed off a bit more there, I have to say. Fuel-wise, JD, if he is going to go for 1-stop, probably has to save a bit more. He definitely can save a lot more. Pretty much half the lap. It's so good to fuel save around this track. You are very capable of fuel saving around this track. There's Joe in the background, 10 seconds up the road. A bit of a wide line there as he misses the apex of the source for Zen, but gets the power on nicely anyway, pulling ahead from JD. And this is going to be crucial all the way up through Eau Rouge, which, let's see, any hint of a lift? Yes, but JD's flat. Zen is not confidently flat. And Zen having to lift off halfway through the throttle. Hence how we've seen how understeer that Corvette is. JD isn't, but that's where Zen will then gain the fuel. As lifts through there, you're slower, but it's definitely a lot more helpful. JD going a bit deep through Les Combes there. And hits halfway just before he probably would have liked if he's going for one stop. It's not quite definitive what JD's going for. Or maybe JD's just going to go for the standard 2-stop. And with the fuel difference, take it. We don't quite know. Zen's managing his fuel nicely as well for a 2-stop. But it's very... It's not definitive yet what strategy every one of them is going to. We'll see definitely come the first stop, what everyone's on. Joe and Lewis, they definitely are capable of pulling a bit more fuel. So is Phil and PX4 as well. They're definitely capable of just a bit more fuel saving where they are, fuel-wise. JD, see, now 30 seconds on the 45-minute mark where you want to be at halfway, then matched it. Pole was a 2:17.3, I believe, for JD. And there's Zen then picking up a half-a-second penalty, and that will be served on the exit of the bus stop. Will JD go for the move now? Or will he just get as much gains from fuel saving all the way in the back of Zen here? As he's going to go for the move. He's pulled to the outside. Zen cuts across from him. JD not really seeing a problem with that. I think he broke a bit early and anticipated that. Going to want to line up maybe. Breaking a bit early, line up the exit. So you do have the power from Zen. As he then serves the half-second penalty, and JD comfortably in the lead then, and what will be the gap? It's not much of a long straight into the braking zone, so it is helpful for Zen, but he's definitely still within slipstream range. Up towards the Camel Straight, not so much, and there's a car round, I believe, there. That was Lewis that was round. So far, Dominic upon now, Tim is into 4th. 6 seconds up the road then is Joe, so this battle for 4th heating up a bit. And Zen now stuck behind JD. He's going to go to get that lead back. Let's see. Up towards Les Combes for the 8th time this race. JD comfortably, Zen comfortably ahead rev-wise. JD definitely fuel saving. JD, he saved a lot to be fair on that lap. Going a long way under. His mediums looking comfortable. Joe softs, not so much. Here's Tim pulling to the side. He has a penalty to serve, and now 6. Let's see. Will he get him into towards the braking zone? It's going to be close. Tim, though, will just about hold on to 4th, it seems there. Up towards Les Combes, the battle for 7th. Phil and PX4, they've been going at it pretty much all race. Up towards Les Combes. The inside line for PX4 goes a bit deep, though. Phil's going to try and find the switchback there around the outside of the second part of Les Combes. All over the curve, though, is PX4. Way too much over, a bit of contact as they go through. Oh, that was nearly PX4 going to the side. Bit of a love tap there by both of them. Bit of self-awareness, but Phil will hold on to 8th. Sorry, 7th. Fridge 4 seconds up the road, but squabbling up ahead won't be too bad. That's another B&R livery, I believe. Interesting. And then Hardcore's down in last, but here's where JD's looked brilliant on the exit of Stavlo. Zen's fuel definitely burning out. We are close, though, to the margin of if you want to go for the standard 2-stop. Zen comfortably can probably go to about 35-minute mark. That's not what you want to be doing, though. All over the curve on the exit of Blanchemont. JD very close to him, but bails out the move again. JD's plan definitely showing, and that's a lot more than 10 minutes of fuel that JD's got on his car. JD can go a long way here. And look at his tyres. Those mediums are barely spent. Fuel management and tyre management has been on point for JD. And I'm just thinking that JD feels like he's the pace stuck behind Zen. He's been able to manage his tyres, manage his fuel absolutely beautifully behind Zen. And when Zen pits, I think JD, there's Tim and Lewis pitting for the standard 2-stop, it seems. Both fuel could have gone a bit longer, but don't necessarily want an awkward stint, which is fair enough. Up towards Lake Com. JD's going to try to go around the outside. Zen's pushing him onto the grass there. Zen really trying to catch JD's back wheel then. That is a bit sketchy there for the Polishman. But JD into the lead then. Losing his rear a bit. Forces Zen off. JD's going to let him through. I think JD realises his mistake there. And Zen will get the lead back due to what I'm guessing is probably JD's sportsmanship then. But a bit argy-bargy for the two, which are normally fairly respectful, especially JD. But as I was saying, looking at the fuel, I'm guessing JD's expecting Zen to pit this lap, and he may as well do. Zen's going to be in within the next couple of laps. But the fuel that JD's got saved up, and his tyres are in absolute near perfect condition. JD, we've seen, could go a second and a half quicker. JD can almost definitely go a second and a half quicker. We know this. We saw him qualifying. That was on the softer compound. Hello, Gio. Long time no see. But I think JD is expecting Zen to pit this lap. And with the amount of fuel that JD has saved up, and JD's a long way ahead. JD's got a good 10 minutes of fuel here. Maybe a bit more. Maybe JD, once Zen goes, JD with his tyres, he's got a lot of them saved up, is going to be able to go a lot longer on this. I think JD's just going to go for it. We see that he's starting to attack a bit more. But once JD gets definitive clear air, let's see, does Zen pit? Yes, he does. Zen is in then, and JD follows him. JD follows him into the pit, so JD, I was completely wrong. JD's not going for the one stop. There's a 20% fuel difference there. And now JD is taking a note out of Ruben's book, and into the pits then comes Joe as well. I was thinking that maybe JD was going to put his foot down and start banging in laps, lap after lap, but in comes sixth then. All of the medium runners, they're all coming into the pit lane. PX4 will also follow in. Let's see who will be out first. Almost guarantee it's going to be JD. It's a long pit here though, so PX4 is also into the pit lane. Fridge, he does not. Fridge stays out on his mediums, so does Phil. Phil will be running second. Something we've not seen in a while. JD though, first to leave the pits then. On 81% fuel on the softs. When does Zen come on? Zen's come on with more fuel in his car as well. And what's the time gap between them? JD actually holds on to the lead. Zen's going to have some traffic to deal with as there is Fridge up ahead. And that time gap, 3 seconds. Zen just ahead of Phil, one of his least favourite people. Joe out in 5th, Hardcore's potentially going to come round. Lewis and Tim though, how has the undercut worked? Tim's had a fairly good outlap, and he's bridged a pretty good gap for 19 seconds. I don't quite know how much he's gained there. But Joe pitted. Hardcore's actually got damaged, but Joe has definitely held on there. And maybe is Fridge trying to definitely go for a one-stop hit, which will be interesting come the end of the race. Oh, big snap there at the rear for Fridge. And Zen nearly came very close to pushing Fridge off the road. Will Fridge let him go? Fridge does let him go. Nice of him. Doesn't cause Zen too much problems. Didn't lose too much time. But through Puon, the momentum was lost there a bit. But only a 10th and a bit there for the Polishman. And now if Jaden Clean Air is going to put his foot down. Oh, Phil going deep there at the final chicane. Couldn't quite get the car slowed down in time. He's yet to stop, but he's in a good place for points right now. PX4 has stopped. He's 40 seconds off the leaders. We'll get an idea then with PX4 and Phil of how powerful the undercut is. But these next laps is going to be a good baseline. Let's see. Who's had the quicker out lap? We know JD probably has. Excuse me, JD. It says 3.5. 3:10. I don't quite... Well, they're weird looking laps. It says Zen was actually 3 tenths quicker last lap. Well... As there's Phil and Fridge pitting. So Fridge not going all the way to the end. But Sick and Joe on the mediums, everyone else should be on the softs then. But let's see, will Lewis actually, fastest lap of the race, and then JD softer compound of tyre, slaps in half second up in the first sector alone, which is massive. But Lewis is currently running in 5th on track, going purple. Let's see what he is. He's got slipstream as well from Tim up ahead, but purple last lap for him, fastest lap of the race for Lewis. Only 3 tenths quicker than JD's lap on the mediums, and he's 2 tenths down on what JD did on the first sector. And JD's starting to fly ahead here in the opening part of this second stint. That gap up to 4 seconds, and so far it's been a fairly straightforward, not been a straightforward race, but the game plan for JD has been, it's been solid, and it's left us guessing, it's undoubtedly left Zen guessing. Tim running 4th, only 2.5 seconds behind Joe, and gaining. Tim's pace looking good. Joe is on the mediums actually, so... But we said there wasn't many people ahead of Tim early on for him to do the come up, or do the comeback. But right now, Tim has a chance for another podium this season. Has Tim got a podium this season? I'm trying to think. Bathurst. No, he didn't. I don't believe Tim has got a podium this season yet. He's got one every season though, up towards the line for JD. How good's this lap going to be? A 2:17 flat. No, it was 2:16 was his qualifying lap time, but that's a whole second quicker and a bit faster than Zen. So, JD a whole second quicker, 2:17 flat, fastest lap. And what's the game plan gonna be now? Is Zen maybe going to be a bit more conservative on his fuel, try and gain the fuel back, gain the time back? He took 9% more fuel than JD did. Well, he came out with 9% more fuel, but JD went in with a 20% more fuel in his tank. So, well, no, JD's a lot better on fuel, and come the end of it, if they start to even up on fuel, well, it's not going to be good news for Zen. Further back in the hunt for a podium, Lewis and Tim. Lewis the first, will be second British race winner up in, but the first British racer to actually be flying the British flag in GTEL. He's trying to hunt down a podium as he stands in for this race, but Tim, regular season runner, he's wanting a podium as well. But JD, so far, he's been on point. No Millsy to make this race interesting. Lewis round to the back of Joe then as Tim's fallen off a slight bit. Has Tim maybe picked up damage? No. Let's see then the exit. On the softer compound of tyres there, you see Lewis already so much quicker, having to swerve to the right hand side then to avoid Joe's slower exit, and already comfortably ahead. Joe's going to have the inside line up towards Blanchemont. His first little left-hander then there, hard left-hander. Lewis going over to the green stuff to try and maximise the track width. That's not what I meant by the green stuff though, running a lot wide. They're having to cede the position. That's going to allow Tim to close right back. And now a three-way battle for the final podium spot. 17.3 last lap. Zen bangs in his personal best lap, still 6 tenths slower than JD. Lewis having a big moment there on the exit of the final turn. Tim all over the back from towards the source then. Here's Tim, he pulls to the right side, going to the inside line. Is he going to think about a move? Lewis then, he goes for a late move there on Joe. Joe goes very wide through La Source. Lewis all over the sausage curve. That's going to really hamper his momentum. And you can see all three of them gaining on him. And look how close they are. 3 tenths between these three. Bit squirrely on the rear there for Joe. And Tim just struggling behind him. And Lewis is going to be comfortably get a bit of an advantage. Especially with Joe being on the mediums. And splitting Tim, who's on the softer compound. And it's going to calm down just that slight bit. Then up towards Lake Palm. And now Tim. Lewis was quicker than Joe. Lewis has been quicker than Joe. And now Tim is going, if he wants to try and fight his opponent, he's going to want to clear Joe as quick as possible. I maybe hope Lewis makes a bit of a mistake through that. Who's that in the pits then? Phil, yeah, the undercut. Massively hampered him. Hardcore's made it to the end here. Hardcore's trying a one-stop. Well, that's interesting. There's a penalty for Phil. He's now running outside the points, which is looking good for him at the start of the race for points. In the battle for third, Tim finally gets past Joe. And now he's got 1.5 seconds to make up on Lewis, who's looking good right now. Started last, and this would be a brilliant performance there for the Brit if he can pull this off. Let's see the time gap. Zen's ghosting. What? Zen losing a lot of time here. Zen's ghosted. Has something done. This is going to cost him a lot of times. He's crawling. And wow, how much time has he actually lost from that? He's going to gain on the straight, but 23.3. He just lost 6 seconds there with that ghost. Now why? What's that about? Did his wheel disconnect? Not quite sure. Anyway, JD back in front. 10.5 seconds now as that lead gap. As Zen's going to start to put his foot back, try and close that gap, and it's, well, not looking good. Their fuel has now evened up as well, and Zen has started this stint with more fuel in his car, and I have to say, JD, it's not over yet. We're not JD's like, we know JD's always prone to a, not just a bit of a spin, but a bit of a big spin. It's not over yet, it's never over. We never know what can happen in this race. But Lewis, Tim closing up to the back of him. It's going to be a real battle to watch soon as well. And Joe may have just got it wrong on tyre strategy. Not starting on the mediums has probably hampered him a bit here, not to say the least. Through that middle sector, Lewis taking the time out of Tim. That gap, 1.7 seconds. Up towards the line then at the end of lap 14. 26 minutes into this first half, a 17.3 for JD. 2 seconds off his personal best. Zen, 17.3. Quicker than Zen's personal best in time. And an 18.3. A whole second quicker for the German. Lewis again. That Subaru looking like Zen's Corvette. Lewis on the rear. Struggling on exit, but definitely getting the power out fuel-wise. Tim's burn a lot more fuel, and Lewis in the pits is going to take a huge chunk of time out of them. And JD, fuel-wise, he's going to be starting to take time out of Zen again, and JD's going to start looking comfortable. Going to be driving consistent, not on the edge. He's a smart man, he's got a comfortable leader now. It's just a case of building on it, but not hampering yourself. Up towards the Fania chicane. Through Pouon, very lucky there on the grass. It's so easy. If you put a wheel outside of the white lines there through Pouon, your car is absolutely spinning into the wall. Such an unforgiving turn there. But then right on the limit, just trying to take time out of the German leader. Not quite succeeding at that. $14 seconds that gap's gone up to now, so Zen really losing time here. Tyre signs go off, so look at the condition of JD's tyres. Another 17.3, his tyres are in such... They may as well just be fresh out the blankets there compared to Zen's tyres. He's just managed them beautifully up towards the line. 19.8, that's over 2 seconds slower than JD last lap. And I don't think Zen would be the type of person that's necessarily throwing the towel. Lewis, 19.3 to be up towards the line, or 19.8. Lewis, 8 tenths quicker than Zen last lap. It's unlikely that Lewis is going to catch Zen. Zen, if he wanted to, feels the threat, but Lewis is catching. Zen will definitely put his foot down. Tim as well struggling to catch Lewis. He should be in pretty soon, Tim. His fuel looking not the best. Probably 2 more laps before everyone pits. That includes the lap they are currently on. Some might go a bit earlier looking for the undercut. The undercut seemingly to be quite powerful, and Phil, he's having to pit again. He's gone onto the mediums. He's definitely going to try and make to the end here then, as I think maybe he's had a bit of problems as he's lost a lot of time. He was ahead of PXD right through the first stint, so maybe the longer it goes on, he's starting to struggle a bit here. Number 2 in the battle for... Well, say battle, nothing... Tim's not really close enough. Joe, he's got the gap to 6. Sick is... 6 actually being reeled in by Fridge, who's actually now got the red light. Sick, beautiful management on his fuel. A lot more fuel in his car than Fridge, so when it comes to the pit stops, he'll definitely gain the time there. But the mediums, again, probably definitely all should have started on the mediums, but it was just the Helix that didn't, and that's it's showing. Another 3 seconds or so taken out of him there. 17.4, another brilliant lap there for JD. Through the bus stop, what's it going to be for Zen? It's not looking good. Zen, is he making mistakes now as well? A 21.3, that is incredibly slow for Zen. 3 seconds slower than his fastest lap. That is 4 seconds, I believe, quicker than what JD put out. Or 3 seconds, sorry, 4 seconds slower, yeah, and Lewis 2 seconds quicker than the German. Sorry, Lewis 2 seconds quicker than the Pole. So maybe there is a chance then, come the later stints, maybe Zen's not feeling his tyres. We'll see come the pit stops what everyone's feeling. Fridge is finally into the pits, as he definitely probably underfueled a bit. Doesn't want to do that too much in this, doesn't want to needs a safe amount. He's definitely in a good position for points, but JD right now looking comfortable. Oh, as we save that. Oh, it's a jinx. I am so sorry, Jay. Oh, there's damage. I'm so sorry, Jay. I've just jinxed it. JD for the win. JD is locked up and been coded. It's in so far in the bag, and that's gonna be an absolute travesty for the German. We're just hyping him up of how comfortable he's looking. He's only gone and thrown it in the wall, picking up engine damage. And this is what we were saying. It's never comfortable with JD because he's got a habit of doing this. And now all the way down the straight, the power difference that Zen's going to have is going to be immense. And JD right now is still doing good numbers. If JD's ahead going into the pit lane, it's not over. It's not over yet, but I mean, that is a big jinx there, Jay. I'm very sorry. But that gap was so big that JD, despite having engine damage, is still going to be able to hold on. And now JD's going to go into the pits. Is Zen going to follow? No, this is now good for JD. JD can also get the undercut on Zen. Fuel difference as well. It's there. It's not over and done with for JD fans. It's not over. JD, it's evident that he's quicker. No matter if Zen's sandbagging a bit, given up, even when he's evidently been trying, JD's still been quicker. It's not over with. Joe's into the pit lane as well, and the undercut, we know how powerful it is, and JD's just hoping he comes out in clean air. Just looking at the track map, it's going to be close if he comes out with traffic here. If he does, it will be sick. There's the damage as well. That's actually the big thing. The damage, that's a good 6 seconds of penalty he's got to take here. And he's going to have to hope he can take at least something out of him. This lap, he's come out ahead of Sick just about. Is Sick going to go for the move? Is he going to be stupid? Oh, he is. That's not what you want to do to your fellow comrade. And that's not what JD wants either. He's going to be battling here. All the way up towards Lecom's. Sick's going to cover the inside here, but the fresher tired German comfortably ahead. In pit stops, JD's been able to gain about 3 seconds. Let's see. Oh, a mistake there by JD, cutting the chicane. The pressure's getting to him. And is he giving this one away here? Red light for Zen. He should be comfortably in though before he has to pit. If that runs out, that'll just be something on his head. And now, this is what Spa can produce. Just produces good things. And Zen, I believe Zen's actually being quicker now. Zen's starting to put his foot down, but in this lap then, for the pole, unless he's a complete moron. No, Zen's not a complete moron, and in he goes. Into the pits then. For the German. Oh, sorry, for the pole. Where's JD? It's a long pit lane here. Zen's going to have to take a lot more fuel than JD did. It's going to be close, to be fair. Where is JD? He's coming through Blanchemont now. It's going to be fine lines here. Zen, fuel still going in his car, but the difference is he's not had to take those damage penalties. And Zen is ahead of JD in the pit lane. What's the gap going to be though? He's going to be a bit slow coming out of the pits, and it's not an insufferable gap. We've seen JD being quick all the way through it. We know JD can do it. JD's been quicker all the way through, and it's not a gap that JD can't close down. Everyone's coming to pit lane, but it's going to be fine margins then. As Joe's on the cut, has helped out, and he's right to the back of Tim now as well, and Lewis is there. Well, the gap pretty much the same between Tim and Lewis, but 6 seconds worth of penalties to be 3 seconds ahead. JD may have just got a bit lucky there. Bit twitchy. And we'll see then in the final 15 minutes. Can JD close this gap down? Zen now going to start trying again, and Zen's probably wishing he was trying all the way through, because it's not over until it's over. How much will JD want to push though? Because he's not going to want to push too much to the point where he will end up struggling a bit and maybe having another spin like that. But through Stavlo, he's so much more, so much more power down. Hence how understeery the Corvette is. And well, this lap then, Zen. This is his outlap. JD, what's it gonna be? What's the fire in his belly telling him? You can see how consistent he was until he got that well, not penalty, but until he decided to go and kiss the wall. A 17.5. This is gonna be the definitive lap where we get to see what kind of time gap. It's really going to be with Zen. With Zen's first flying lap. And look, all the way up Eau Rouge. Struggling a bit there. And a massive lift all the way through that first. All the way through there, not towards Les Combes. That first sector, first part of sector 1 for Zen is really good, but then JD just that little bit better. Tim, he started to put his foot down a bit here. He lost a lot of time to Lewis, but Tim goes pub through the first sector. And Tim now right onto the back of Lewis. Lewis doesn't have any damage or anything like that. But Tim definitely in a position now. So Tim, don't count him out. He's probably had a beer on his pit stop. We know every time he gets podium, he's probably had a beer or two. That's the nature of Tim. Oh, there's a mistake from Lewis at Pouon. Goes wide, rejoins it nicely, but Tim's going to get the gain out of that, definitely. And now back to the lead of the race, back to the front of this race. Zen has more power come the end of the straights, but at the start, JD's definitely... Oh, it matters as well, because Eau Rouge, with how understeery the Corvette is, Stavlo exit, he's not that good for Zen. It's a lot slower, and then he's having to lift through Blanchimont, where JD's not having to an Eau Rouge. JD can take it easy flat, and Zen's not. And this lap then, an 18.1, 17.5, JD, half a second quicker. That lap. And that's comfortable pace then for the German, and we may be in for another exciting finale here with just under 12 minutes to go. Up Eau Rouge, and look at the gap. Well, how much is JD going to take out of him this time round? Not that much. Zen a lot more confident, probably took a bit more through there, doesn't get a penalty. So, looking good. Zen realising what he can do, especially through through Eau Rouge and Radion. That's why you can't ratio a guy in live comments, because you can't like your comment. I can definitely tell you're one of Zen's friends. You can lead as many laps as you want in motorsport, but all that matters is leading that final lap. We saw it in Sochi, in F1. We're going to see it there. We're going to see it today. Maybe both of these two take to right, and Lewis wins again. Lewis does magical things when he's in third. The last time Lewis won, the leader DNF'd and the person in second crashed, and an easy win for Lewis. That gap's coming down again, not by much though. Even on fuel. Not even on tyres, but Zen, when he needs to find the pace, he's definitely finding a way to pull out and through the bus stop. Zen, so much more time gained there. Last lap, Zen was quicker. Zen was quicker, and JD's going to be cursing the day he made that mistake. Especially if it turns out that Zen wins this, but in the battle for third, Tim has got ahead of Lewis. And up towards Eau Rouge, here we go, it's going to get spicy. Joe's back into this as well on the soft tyres, so they're all on the soft tyres, they're all running at... This is the final sim, this is where they will all be at their best then. 9 minutes to go. Zen leads from JD, Tim, Lewis, and then Sick. In the battle for third, Tim, Lewis, and Joe. Lewis is a very good run. Tim covers the inside line, up towards Lecom. Lewis breaks a lot later, trying to go around the outside. He's going to try and stick it. A bit of contact, pushes Tim a bit wide there. Inside line, though, into the final part of Lecom. He's going to push him wide again like Lewis did to himself. Tim will do it back. Give what you can... Take what you can give what you can take, and then down the inside, Joe's going to go for it, and effectively Lewis loses 2 places in 2 turns. Back up at the front. Bit of an eye down the gap, up towards Pouon, though we saw Lewis make a move down here on Tim early on in the race. He's going to do the same to Joe, not quite. Up towards the final chicane, Joe eyeing up a move around the outside of Tim. Not taking the best of line, that allowed Lewis to close right up. Bit of a love tap at the back for the Brit on Brit. That gap, 1.2 seconds. It's come down massively now. And JD should be comfortably then 7.5 minutes to go. Someone can do the math if they're running about 2:17 pace. They're going to get 3 laps in. 3, maybe 4 laps. And then the battle for third as well. Time gain through Eau Rouge Radion. Now, this will be crucial. Will JD be able to get into the slipstream from it? Zen's taking a lot more risks. He's a lot more confident as well, which is good to see. He's losing a lot of time for Eau Rouge Radion. But, crucially, last lap 17.2 compared to an 18.2. His whole second quicker last lap for JD. And now Joe and Lewis going at it. Brit on Brit, battle of the Brits. Lewis, very late move there. You can see him pulling out late time. Joe respectfully gives him space inside line there for the Brit. Or for Lewis, but Lewis gets pushed back onto the curb. That's brilliant racing for Joe. Under a second that gap's down to now. Hate driving this track, but this track always produces good racing. JD is catching, but will he catch in time to go and make a move? Let's see. There's traffic. I'm not going to say anything, but Phil hates Zen. Zen hates Phil. JD and Phil get along quite well. Phil played a part in JD's last win. He let Zen through though. That'll be the first time Zen will still try and say Phil blocked him. We caught it on camera. The gap's now under half a second, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen, we're approaching the final 5 minutes. Zen leads from JD to battle for third. Tim pulling away here, and I am loving this right now. Lewis tucked into the back of Joe. Gonna go for a move again. Lewis. Joe's been very much you shall not pass for the... You're his boyfriend, we know. Lewis, late move again into the bus stop chicane. Can he get it done this time? Yes, he can. Then Joe's going to try and fight it back down the inside, but whoever's on the outside on the exit there tends to turn out better. And now Lewis then only has a handful of laps, I believe 3 laps to go, to try and catch Tim and take the final podium. He will win because of a JD mistake, we'll put it that way. It's not like he's had absolutely blistering pace and wasn't 20 seconds back. Well, we'll find out. It's going to be close. Up towards Pouhon. Last lap, 8 tenths quicker. Hello, Nick. I don't know which Nick this is. There's many Nicks. Is this Nick, Mount, or Pinion? And that's not even the only Nicks in the league. There's more. A gap now, 2 tenths, on to 2 tenths, here we go, and this is where JD is really good compared to where Zen's not. The exit, so understeery through Stavlo 2 for Zen. JD, not so much, but power, let's see. Up towards the bus stop we go then. JD's going to try and go around the outside, can't quite do it at Blanchemont, let's see. Again, understeery for Zen through Blanchemont. Can JD gain the momentum? He can, I believe. He's going to go for the move up towards the bus stop. Late on the brakes. Can JD pull off? He's going to... Oh, no, he doesn't. Thinks better of it. Bails out. Going to focus on the exit, but this is where Zen is probably the best on track, to be fair. His exit out of this turn. Look how smooth that Zen is. And look at the time. Zen's now going to pull. Zen, so good on the exit of the bus stop. So, come the end of it. Excuse me. It's going to be very helpful for Zen. 2 laps to go. We nearly got the Season 1 Division 2 champion in the building, which not many people actually remember. Only the OGs remember Juice. Juice is a legend in GTL. Up towards Lake Convent again, tucked into the slipstream here. Zen's going to try and force him onto the grass here, blocks him, and that's not necessarily going to be the fairest of moves there. JD having to lift off massively. And I think JD may have a few words for Zen at that one. He did it early on in the race as well, down there, trying to push him right onto the grass. And it's something that Zen's going to have to look out for. It's unlikely for Jay to make a protest, but you never know, we'll find out. Let's see then. Bit squirrely for both cars through No Name. Look how close JD is through Pouhon. Look how close he can stick it, and he almost looks for a move down in towards Vanya. He is, he's going to pull to the inside, late on the brakes, he's going to go for it. Oh, that looked very close to taking him off the track there. JD, good on the brakes though, getting it slowed down in time not to go and run into the back of Zen. Round 2 then. Down at the Spa-Francochamps. Oh, sorry, on the exit of Stavlo 1 and 2. It's going to be a long run up towards the bus stop. They've got Blanchemont to deal with first before anything. And JD's not as close this time. That might actually be better. Zen runs wide. Does JD have the momentum? It drifts right a bit to Zen's side. JD is not close enough to get that moved on. And look how good Zen is again through here. So no move out of La Source possible for JD. Fuel-wise, Zen's just red-lighted it. This is the final lap though, but Zen may just have to be a bit cautious here. It's going to be a close one. Will Zen be able to get full power on? It's a mistake there by Zen. He's wide through turn 1 at La Source. Up Eau Rouge. Let's see, how much does Zen lift off? Is Zen able to take it flat? This is where Zen's been losing the most time here. JD tucked into his slipstream. Is there a lift? There is a lift. And I don't think there was a lift there for JD despite the dirt. Yeah, up towards Lacon we go. Down the Camel Straight. Zen's trying to push him as wide as possible. JD has the momentum though. Up towards Lacon. But the top end speed of that Corvette. And this may be race defining. JD late on the brakes. He's going to try and force it around the outside. Can't quite get it done there. And Zen may have just had a get out of jail free card for the first time this lap. There may be another one coming though. Look how low his fuel's going. He's had to burn so much fuel through there. Up towards Ravage. JD peaks a move. Tucks back in behind Zen. Up towards No Name then. For the next bit, JD squirrely on exit of Ravage. JD nails the apex. What's the exit like? Both clean. Who's got the better momentum up towards Pouon? JD's close. Is he going to think about a move? It's going to be risky. I don't think he's going to go for it. Yeah, it's not going to be that dirty. Not going to be that risky. Clean from both of them again. Through the second part of Pouon. Clean again. JD, is he going to think about it into the Fania chicane? He's close enough. Close enough. He's thinking about it. Not quite close enough, and that's killed his momentum, and that might have killed the chance of winning this race on track. But look at Zen's fuel. Look how low it's going. If he's going to want to win this, Zen's going to have to be flat out towards the line here. The pole on the edge. Excuse me. Look how much JD pushes through that final bit. Stavlo 2. He's gaining. It's under attempt. Tucked, squirreling all over. As JD not letting him through. JD making his car as wide as possible. Through Blanchemont, they're going to go. Lift off from Zen there. Massive. They both run wide. And that might be Zen winning it on track. JD's going to go for it here. And I think Zen's going to get it. Despite some antics. And JD pushes him in the rear. Round the outside we go up towards the line. And Zen forces him wide. And Zen's going to win. On the track. What the living hell was that? Both of them need to show a bit more respect. That was a bit ridiculous from the pair of them. And I think there may be some words come the end of this race. As Zen, a few times, tried forcing JD off track there. Well, I'm not sure about that final turn, especially. Don't say easy when you're 20 seconds behind, all I'm gonna say. But I mean, well, that was questionable. Both were at fault there, both were ridiculous through Blanchemont, I must say. And no one's even noticed that Lewis got a podium! My God. No one has even noticed. Well, Lewis on the podium. I'm sweating. Can we save the replay? It's not going to let me save the replay. I want a replay. Huh. Well, confirmation of... Well, these are the unofficial results. Penalties may be coming for anyone. Zen wins on track, followed by JD, Lewis, then Tim, bitterly close to another podium. Look how close that was at the line. Didn't even get to see it. Tiny gaps between those two. One of the close finishes we will have on track. Well, yeah, I'm gonna need a replay because, yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Join me tomorrow, same time, 7 PM for round 6 of the GTEL Division 1 Championship. Until then, I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.